Starting your own practice is hard for many chiropractors. It's riddled with both struggles and successes. But here at the Chiropractic Philanthropist, we make it easy by having chiropreneurs and entrepreneurs share their struggles and lessons learned in life and business so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. And now here's your host, Dr. Ed Osborne.
Hey Doc, want to start a successful social media marketing campaign that will get you anywhere from 10 to 45 qualified new patients contacting you for appointments? Of course you would. You probably already have been shown how to do it, so why haven't you implemented? Most doctors don't have the time and they don't care to spend the money trying to figure out what methods work. 3S Chiropractic Systems has put in the time for you and have been testing the methods for years, so if you want to surge new patients every month, that's it, right at your fingertips. The company is run by chiropractors with years of web and social media marketing experience, offering you a complete, affordable, done-for-you package. Get this system. It's swooping across the globe and is geographically exclusive, so find out right now if your area is still available. They offer full money-back guarantee for the first month, so there is absolutely no risk. Apply at 3schiropracticsystems.com/TCP to make sure you don't miss out. Dr. Rob, thank you for being on TCP today. I know you're going to bring it as a guest. So as we actually begin this episode, what I would like you to do, for those people who don't know who you are, share a little bit about who you are as a chiropractor, but also as one of the leaders in the profession today too. Tell us about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in practice now for 20 years. Seems like I just graduated from Parker University. And to just, start off just with this hunger and this passion to want to help as many people as I could. Created a large, what people would call a high volume practice in the booming metropolis of Bedford, Texas, which is actually a suburb of Dallas, Fort Worth. Built a huge practice. And that really, that was it. I've always had a passion for really wanting to help a lot of people. But what I've learned along the way is what I really love helping other folks, whether it be chiropractors, entrepreneurs, just people in general, just to be able to be a better version of themselves or be the person that God really has created them to be so that they can be able to have success, not just business success, chiropractically speaking, but really life success, whether that life success be with their health, in the chiropractic realm or wellness realm, or really be able to have success as a husband, have success as a dad, have success just in all areas of their life. So I'm really addicted to that, honestly, is being able to help people in that realm.
Yeah, that was one of the things that really, attracted me to want to have you on TCP podcast as well, was that I noticed that, just following you on Facebook and social media, that I noticed that you're not just talking about how do we get more new patients, conversions, closing people. You're actually talking about how do we up-level, not just in our business and practice, but up-level in our lives in general. So I really like that aspect of it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really it. I wish somebody would have told me that a long time ago, but the only thing that I was ever taught is, okay, here's what you do so that you can be able to build this big practice. And so I became that human doing versus being the human being.
So one of the things we love, Doc, is we love quotes and affirmations. Could you share with our listeners, some positive words of meaning for you?
Yeah, you know what? I think one that rings true with me, especially lately, is know what you don't know. In other words, is if you know what you don't know, I know that I don't know a lot when it comes to tech stuff or computer stuff, and because I don't know a lot about that stuff, I can be able to hire somebody who's much better than me at doing those things to be able to leverage my time so that I can really be truly doing what it is that I'm good at and what it is that I love to do. And so that right there has saved me not just a ton of time, it saved me money. It saved me with my relationships with people around me because I'm really able to be more engaged with them because I'm not having to try to figure crap out that I have no idea about and or I just don't care about.
I love this too. This is a great conversation because what I've observed for you about you as well is that you are a producer. Like if, you're always on social media, right? You're creating content and always giving value. That takes a lot of time in itself to ask you to go and start creating back end stuff like funnels and webinars and all these other things. I mean, it would be crazy for you to go and try and learn all that where you can actually be upfront and leading like we all should be as chiropractors. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I totally agree. And I love knowing about those kind of things. And so, like, I've read Russell Brunson's book, so I can kind of get a working knowledge of what it is that's going on and what a funnel is. But yeah, when it comes to actually making the funnel or setting those things up, there's way better people to do those kind of things like you. And there's a lot of other people in the chiropractic profession and that are great at doing that stuff, and which I love because you know what? I don't want to spend all night trying to set a funnel up. I've actually to be honest with you, I've tried to do that. And after doing that like the first time and just kind of yelling at the computer, it was not as simple as what Russell Brunson makes it out to be on his videos. I've been on those videos where I said, you know what, I'm not going to buy whatever it is that he's selling. And then $700 later, I'm trying to figure out how to actually set up a funnel going, what in the heck am I doing?
So I am just, I'm dangerous enough with ClickFunnels that I can set stuff up that it works. But then when I also lean, by the way, I love this. Again, it's a great conversation because I think docs really need to take this in, is that I do lean myself on people who are better and and they love doing that stuff. They don't mind staying up till 2 a.m. That juices them. But for me, I love getting on Facebook Live. I love sharing. I love networking, connecting with people. Doc, as chiropractors, I always love to say we eat struggle for lunch, man. So tell us about a time where you struggled. Tell us about a time where you fell flat on your face and what you learned from that experience, but then also how you apply it to your life and business today and helping other chiropractors be more successful.
Absolutely. So yeah, for me, it was just cruising through practice. And I say cruising, I was still working. And so working in practice literally had what I thought was it. And I remember like it was yesterday, I wake up one morning and I can't move, paralyzed. I had injured my back. So I'd blown out several discs in my lower back, get back to the office. And I'm thinking, you know what, this is going to go away on its own. I'm going to get adjusted. I'll have my buddy come over to the practice and start just cranking on my back. I'll be good as new in a day. And that didn't happen. And so what I noticed at that point too is because as in pain as I was, well, number one is I had a newfound empathy for people that come into our office in that much pain. But number two is what I realized is that, my patients, they kind of really didn't care that I was in that much pain. They really just cared about themselves getting out of pain. And I can't say I blame them. That's what they were coming to the office for. So I'd be like, I can't walk right now. I mean, literally, I can't walk. And my staff would go, hey, Dr. Rob, so-and-so's ready for you to see them. And they would wheel me. I had this little stool and they would wheel me through the office on this stool. I would stand up long enough to be able to adjust somebody. I'm like literally leaning on the patient to be able to do any kind of thrust. And what happened is my practice started sinking and tanking because what was happening, I was having to cut shifts. And because I had to cut shifts, then people just stopped showing up. So then what we've been taught, okay, you get a locum or you get an associate doctor. So I hired an associate doctor to come in. And what I saw is that patients only wanted to see me. And so what I quickly realized is that I had a job. I didn't have a business. I had a job that was 100% dependent on me. So I had to really figure it out. I had to figure out how to truly be able to hire somebody that patients were going to be willing to see. But not only that, I had to create a culture in the office where that culture was that, you know what, it was okay if somebody else was adjusting somebody other than me so that they could be able to get it. So what I said is that, you know what, if anybody gets anything here in the office, it's going to be that they truly understand what we talk about with the principle of chiropractic. So they're getting a principled adjustment. In other words, they're going to be educated on what it is that we do so that they know why they should be coming in, so that if I got hit by a bus the next day, they were still going to be coming in to be getting their adjustment. And that right there was the transition that really transitioned the office from being a me-driven office to a team-driven office. And even to this day, like right now, as we're sitting here doing this Facebook Live, I've got a team that's in the office right now that's seeing people. I don't have to be the person who's adjusting folks in there right now. Everything is still doing what it's supposed to be doing. People are still getting well. They're getting what we call principled adjustments in the office, and I don't have to necessarily be there right now to do that. And that's so freeing. But that's what I had to go through in order to be able to make that a reality.
I'm going to pull a couple things from what you're saying. Number one is empathy. Like, I mean, man, there's nothing like, I didn't get, when patients came in and they were acute and they were in a lot of pain, I didn't get it. Like it was, I just didn't understand. So that's amazing. And then, yeah, I always felt like a high paid employee in my practice. You know what I mean? Like I had to show up. If I didn't show up, there was no income. I was the catalyzing agent. So how much of this though, Dr. Rob, I mean, is a mindset component? Like I couldn't even wrap my head around the thought of like not like being able to remove myself from my business and still have it actually run properly.
You know what? I think it's all mindset, and one of the mindsets of, just as being an entrepreneur and a business owner, there's an ego that comes with that as well. So I think some of that there was some ego in there where I had to be in control of everything, right? So everything had to revolve around the way I wanted it to be done versus more of a team approach to that and really becoming the leader of that team. So that was one part of it from a mindset perspective. But, as I look back on it, I mean, honestly, there's also that mindset of, I don't know that there's any good enough people out there as far as an associate doctor that can be able to do my job as good as me. Or, when it comes to marketing, I don't know that there's anybody that can be able to do marketing as good as me. And so the mindset shift was, no, there's actually people that can adjust better than you. And there's also people out there that can do better than you when it comes to marketing. So my mindset now is that, I want to hire people that are better than me at all aspects of the practice. Because if they're better than me at all aspects of the practice, then you know what? Now we actually really do have a business that's not 100% dependent on me.
Yeah, and it truly is a team, isn't it, then?
Oh, I love, my team is awesome. As a matter of fact, we were just having a meeting before chatting with you today, and we were meeting with a personal injury office that was wanting to come into the office and just asking us some questions about the practice, and having my team there that I know that can be able to handle things like that is really great, because that's like, what, if somebody comes in, like a personal injury case, it's not going to be 100% dependent on what it is that I know. My team can totally be able to take care of that, and that's so cool.
So tell us a little bit about this webinar that you have coming up very soon. And by the way, everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching right now, I'm going to drop the link actually in the comments below, but I'll also have it on our page dedicated to our discussion today with Dr. Rob on the chiropracticphilanthropist.com. But Dr. Rob, what is it? Because I love webinars. I do webinars. I'm a pragmatic guy. I teach people like how to point and click and do things, marketing, stuff like that. This is completely different. What are docs going to walk away with from the webinar that you're doing today or this week?
Here's what they're going to walk away with. The cool thing is that over the last 8 years, as a result of a lot of trial and error, what I've figured out is that there's a formula or a system to be able to get it to where you can get to that point where, your practice isn't 100% dependent on you. And you might still want to be the person adjusting everybody, and that's okay too, but it works regardless of where it is that you're at in practice to be able to help you to be able to create, like you said, that team or that culture that is not 100% dependent on you. So the marketing is not 100% dependent on you. You doing your dinner with a doc isn't 100% dependent on you. And I know that because what had happened was after I injured myself and people saw, it was kind of funny. I would go to seminars and people would go, "Hey, I heard you're not adjusting anymore." Like it was like a bad thing all of a sudden, right? "Hey, I heard you're not adjusting anymore." I'm like, no, but you know what? Alice's are still getting set in my practice, right? People are still getting care. No, I'm not. And so what happened was it was almost like this underground thing where I'd start getting messages from people and people going, "How did you do that? I heard you hurt your back." And what I found out is that there are more people in practice who are practicing right now hurt than you could ever imagine. But there's nobody that can be able to help them or they don't know what to do. So I've got the formula and the system to be able to show people what to do. And it's really a lot more simple than you would think, but a lot of that is really changing your mindset in that. And so that really is what the webinar is about. It's about that system to be able to help people so that you don't have to feel like your whole entire practice is 100% dependent on you, or really your whole life is dependent on you, because it's not just about the practice, right? It's like our family, right? With our family is also a team as well. So it's like everybody's in this together, but it's a system to be able to show you how to be able to do that so that you're not having to figure it out, because you know what? I already figured it out.
Yeah. You've done it for them. So I mean, it's really the introduction to like practice freedom, and this webinar. I mean, it's equally applicable to someone who's maybe not seeing 1,000 people a week, but also someone who is seeing 2,000 a week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll talk about that on the webinar. Is how that I've helped somebody that was practicing over 2,000 a week, and how I've helped people that are practicing 100 a week. And also, I've got people that I talk to and teach these same systems to that are independent contractors. So regardless of where it is that you're at in that, to be able to teach that to you, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about, the introduction to that in the webinar on this week. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not all about the new patients. It's actually about starting with the mindset and the confidence and the certainty.
It's everything but the new patients, honestly. Yeah, granted, yes. It's everything that leads to you having not just new patients, but consistent new patients, or consistency with your hiring, or consistency with your new patients, or consistency with your retention, so that you're not having to wonder. You don't have that like crazy roller coaster thing going, holy crap. Hey, babe, I'm going to screen, right?
I posted the other day on social media, and I mean, like, because I have zero filter, which is good and bad. And I posted the other day on social media, and I said, I woke up this morning and I realized that I wasn't worried about where my next new patient was coming from. And I mean, I know that there were times in practice when I felt that way, like when things were good, but there were times where just this, the ship just slowed down, man. So it was hard. You would think about those things. So I love that you're giving the system, but also that adjustment above Atlas too, to help doctors be more certain in what they're doing.
Yeah, that's it right there, the adjustment above Atlas. But also we got to make sure that people have some practical things that they can do also, and some systems around that, so it's not so esoteric as to, what, wake up tomorrow morning and know who you are. Oh shit, what if you suck right now and you still suck tomorrow morning?
I love it.
Is it no good?
All right, so I'm going to put the call to action in here right now. So everyone who's listening, or everyone who is watching right now, you can actually head over to thechiropracticphilanthropist.com. We're going to have a webpage dedicated to our discussion with Dr. Rob today, and we'll have all the resources and clickable links so that you can actually get access to this webinar, or if you're watching this a little later, get access to the replay. Dr. Rob, we're going to head into Back to the Future. Are you ready?
Let's do this. I need a DeLorean.
You do. Well, I put you in our cheesy time machine. And so what we're going to do is we're going to send you back to a younger version of yourself. This is right after you came out of chiropractic college, and you have all the current knowledge and life experience you have today. What would you say to that younger self?
What I'd say to that younger self is, you know what? Who you are is you are God's son. You are a healer. You're a businessman. You're an entrepreneur. Don't forget that. Chiropractic is flippin' amazing. And that's the vehicle, how you can be able to show the world who it is that you are. That's what I would say to that person.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. So, Doc, I'm interested to know, what are you reading? What are you listening to? What's an invaluable resource you want to drop on, Doc?
You know what I'm listening to right now is I am listening to a lot of Lewis Howes podcasts right now. The reason for right now is because one of the things that he's on to is how to be able to build a huge following using Instagram. And because my Instagram game is down, my Facebook game is a little bit better, only because I've been listening to you and what it is that you've been doing, but he is crushing it on Instagram. And I really want to be able to get my message out to more people on Instagram. So he's got a He's got a program that he calls his Inner Circle, and you can listen to it about it on his podcast, but definitely Lewis Howes podcast because of what it is he's doing right now on Instagram.
Instagram domination. Nice.
That's it. That's my next thing.
Well, here's the thing is that what I've learned is know where the people that you want to speak to hang out. So chiropractors, they tend to hang out on Instagram and Facebook. So I know you dominate on Facebook. Yeah, Instagram, we're working on that on our end too. It's the next step. Thank you for that. And I think all chiropractors, by the way, that's a great and valuable tip is they should all be listening to that. And also, yeah, just dominate on Instagram. It's where to hang out. Okay, I'm going to give the call to action one more time. So thechiropracticphilanthropist.com. If you're listening on your mobile, Doc, all you got to do is you got to expand open those show notes. We'll have all the clickable links. You can actually register for the webinar right now. You got to get on this webinar. Dr. Rob is the real deal. All right, so I've truly enjoyed our discussion today. I know you got to get back to your office, and I'm so glad that we actually got you actually on this Facebook Live for today. So I'm excited, and I want to just thank you so much.
Here's the cool thing. Can I stop you when you said that right there? The way you said that is when you said that I know you have to get to your office right now. Here's freedom is, you know what? Right now, I want to go to my office, not because I have to. It's because I want to go to the office to hang out because I know they have everything under control over there. It's a completely different feeling because there was a day and time where I'm like, hey, babe, I got to get to the office right now. And it was like stressful feeling. So anyway, didn't mean to stop you, but I'm like, you know what?
That's okay.
The cool thing is I want to go. It's a completely different feeling.
It's probably some of the old ingrained part of me, Doc, because here's what I was famous for with my team is I would in Dukes of Hazzard where they slide across, they run and slide across the hood and then they jump inside the car and then drive. That was me jumping into the office. So it was literally like that.
Love it.
And then I would slide across the hood, open the door, then start adjusting atlases. So so it's probably just some of that ingrained into my brain still. But I knew this was going to be a fun interview. So I want to thank you so much for giving back and for what you continue to give. Again, I'm going to back up here for 1 second. Because one thing that I know about docs and that could help them so much in terms of how they get their message out and can grow their practice is consistency. Like if there's one thing, and production, like if there's one thing that I see about you is that you're consistent. Like you're always, like every time I go on social media, I see you. Like you're always there. You're always promoting. You're always giving back. You're always giving value. And when you do that, you can never go wrong. So I want to make sure that all docs are actually learning and following you too. So if you're not following Dr. Rob, make sure you're following him. Thank you so much for giving back today.
Yeah, man. Likewise. Thank you for everything that you do as well, man. Thank you.
So you've heard the struggles, you've heard the successes, and this episode is done. But there's still so much more to come and so much more to learn. Head on over to the chiropracticphilanthropist.com and sign up for our newsletter where you'll receive free practice building tips and strategies, including how to market your practice with your very own podcast and so much more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Chiropractic Philanthropist.